If the election results have you feeling some feelings, take a walk with me. I want to remind you that we are all Americans, first and foremost. You may, on a personal level, break that down even further from individual and group identities. But this is the one thing that we all have in common. And because of that, we share in the pain, the loss, the grief, the anger, and frustration. But we also get to share in the wins that come from collaboration and innovation, and a strong desire to leave the planet just a little bit better than how we found it. While elections can shape policies and influence the direction of the country, they don't define our individual lives or our ability to find joy, purpose, and resilience in our current circumstances. You must recognize that no one's coming to save you or to drop off $1 million at your front door, nor are they going to magically improve the quality of your life, even though they've made you promise after promise after promise for the past 50 years. Ask Chicago how that's going for them. All of this is your individual work to become who you're capable of becoming, to recognize that you're always in a state of becoming, but who you become is always up to you. Each individual person has to get really good at living in their life circumstances. And when you do that work, that's where the change really begins to happen in the collective. As you learn to step into your personal frame and you choose to grow, develop, evolve, and change, and you become a seeker of knowledge instead of an observer and regurgitator of headlines, you begin to take your personal power back from those who would prefer you stay exactly where you are. And this is a good spot for a book recommendation for you: Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. That book is an exploration of finding purpose even in the darkest of circumstances. Frankl argues that life's purpose comes from three sources: purposeful work, love, and courage in facing suffering. And I would argue that we were put here to turn our suffering into something much more. And with a lot of work, you get to choose how you respond to it. You can choose to melt down for everyone to see on social media, or you can do something different. You can connect with a friend, do some breath work, journal, go for a walk, exercise, get out in nature. The problem for many of us, and why we often stop growing, is because we receive resistance from the people that are closest to us. They actually fear your growth, expansion, and change. And this doesn't come from a place of malice. It always comes from the place of uncertainty, along with a desire to keep you safe from harm. Don't go there. Don't do that. There's no way you can do that. That's impossible. No one in our family has ever done anything like that. You'll get in trouble. Yet if you look around, you'll find plenty of examples of people that are living the life that you want to live. And the only real difference between you and them is they believed that they could. So they did. And many of them, sure, they had more than you do right now, but there's countless others that had less. And when you choose to go down that path for yourself, it can be lonely, feel dangerous, filled with difficulty, hate, and adversity. People around you will resist and reject your newfound personal freedom, a freedom that you can choose to grant yourself at any moment, like now. You created a mental prison to keep yourself safe, but it's actually kept you stuck. Ask me how I know. You see, when you fully accept yourself, when you accept that you're going to be in a lonely stage of life for a while, when you do the work necessary to attain your short and long term goals, you also show everybody else around you what's possible for them, and they're going to hate you for it. But there is an eventual shift that occurs with most people because they see that you've been disciplined and consistent. They'll see other people singing your praises in your now measurable success, and they'll tell everybody, I knew they could do it. The point to all this is that it really doesn't matter the outcome of an election. We are still responsible for our daily actions, our relationships, our families, our responsibilities, and our communities. But I want you to ask yourself, when was the last time that you fully showed up for anything? That you went all in, that you believed you could, so you did. Every single one of you has the power to make the corner of your world just a little bit better, simply by existing. We can choose each and every day to show up for each other, to engage in and lead our communities, and to make a promise to live by our shared American values. Not sure what those are? You should probably get reading. And I'll leave you with this. The greatest divide right now is our interpretation of history. You see it one way and use a certain type of language, and somebody else sees it completely differently. Objective reality has become bent. But as a child of the 80s and 90s, I can tell you that Gen X, we were cool with each other, man. In politics, sure, we talked about it, but it didn't divide families. Your uncle wasn't excommunicado after that. And at 46, I might have 25 years left, and I'll choose building and creating connection over creating division any day. You can't take your politics with you, and it's not meant to be your whole personality. At the end of the day, it's up to you to build a life that you're proud of, because it all starts with you.